Welcome to part two. Dos. All right. Stretch your face, part two. The uncomfortable silence. Forward, a candle in the void. They told you to find your purpose. They sold you a dream with a price tag attached to your soul. This book is not that. This book is the match you strike in the dark, not to see, but to prove the dark exists. It is a record of the questions that fester when the answers provided are too cheap, too hollow to satisfy. I am not your guru. I am a fellow traveler staring into the same abyss. I offer no salvation, only the cold, clean truth that you are free, terrifyingly, magnificently free. What you do with that freedom, whether you build a cathedral or watch it burn, is the only thing that will ever truly matter. This is the uncomfortable silence. Lean in. Table of Contents, Part 1. The Deconstruction. Pulling out the Jenga block. I'm just going to set this up. Should I set you guys up? Probably where I just had to. 1. The thickness of meaning. 2. A primer on cosmic indifference. 3. God is dead and we have the receipts. 4. The tyranny of positive thinking. 5. Your life is not a productivity hack. Part 2. The void staring into the abyss. 1. The aesthetics of nothingness. 2. A nihilist guide to Monday morning. 3. The comfort of doom. 4. There are no happy endings and that's okay. 5. The liberating embrace of absurdity. Part 3. The response, building in the ruins. 1. Authenticity as an act of rebellion. 2. Passion over purpose. 3. Creating your own ghost. 4. The ethics of a godless world. 5. Sisyphus smiles, finding joy in the push. Part 4. The aesthetic, dressing for the end of the world. 1. The philosophy of black turtlenecks. 2. Cigarettes and mortality. 3. Rainy windows and minor keys, the atmosphere of thought. 4. Why all meaningful conversations happen after 2 a.m. 5. The cathedral of the self. The anthology. Part 1. The deconstruction, pulling out the Jenga block. 1. The sickness of meaning. We are born into a carnival of meaning. They hand you a map at the gate, pre-drawn with a route. School, job, family, retirement, death. The prizes are plastic, the screams are canned. The first symptom of intellectual health is the nausea that rises when you realize the map is a forgery. The ride is broken. The meaning they sold you is a placebo for a disease called awareness. God is dead and we have the receipts. Nietzsche's madman ran into the marketplace declaring out God was dead. We are the children of that silence. The cosmos do not blink. The universe is not apparent. It is a vast, beautiful, and utterly unconscious machine. There is no grand judge, no celestial scorekeeper. The courtroom is empty. The only judgment that exists is the echo of your own choices in the hollow chamber of your life. Your life is not a productivity hack. You are not a resource to be optimized. Your worth is not measured in output, efficiency, or LinkedIn endorsements. This relentless drive to make something of yourself is the final, most insidious trap of a consumer society. It convinces you to commodify your own consciousness. Stop, breathe. The world will not end if you are unproductive. It is, in fact, the only way to truly begin. Part 2. The void, staring into the abyss. The comfort of doom. There is a profound peace in accepting the worst case scenario. Climate change, societal collapse, personal ruin. Good. Embrace it. Once you stare directly into the heart of the catastrophe and accept its inevitability, you are free. The anxiety loses its power, the fear of losing it all, it's gone now, because you've already let it go. Now everything else is a bonus, a strange, beautiful bonus. There are no happy endings, and that's okay. The story does not arc, it does not resolve, it simply ends. The quest for a happy ending is a desperate attempt to force a narrative structure onto the chaotic, random noise of existence. Let it go. Find the beauty not in the conclusion, but in a single perfect line of prose in the middle of the messy, unfinished draft. Find joy in the footnote, the scribble in the margin. That is all there is, and it is enough. The liberating embrace of absurdity. You are a biological puppet made of stardust on a rock, hurtling through an infinite vacuum, trying to find meaning in the arrangement of your furniture. It's hilarious. The appropriate response to this realization is not despair, it is a wry cosmic laughter. Play the game, knowing it's a game. Dance, knowing there is no music. The absurdity is not a prison, it is the key. Part 3, the response. Building in the ruins. Authenticity as an act of rebellion. In a world of curated feeds and manufactured identities, to be authentically, awkwardly, painfully yourself is the most radical act. It is to look into the void and not just see nothingness, but to project your own image onto it. Your weird hobbies, your unproductive passions, your unpopular opinions. These are the bricks with which you build a fortress against the tide of generic nonsense. Creating your own ghosts. Since there is no inherent meaning, you are free to invent your own, not find it, invent it. You are the ghost in the machine, and you get to haunt whatever castle you choose. Build a meaning so personal, so intricate, and so compelling that it becomes your reality. Let it be art. Let it be knowledge. Let it be the simple act of kindness to a stranger. It is a fiction, but it is your fiction. Make it a good one. Sisyphus smiles, finding joy in the push. Camus said we must imagine Sisyphus happy. I say we must be Sisyphus. The boulder will roll back down, the project will fail, the heart will break. The struggle itself is the point. Find the rhythm in the push, feel the sun on your back as you climb. The meaning is not at the top of the mountain, it is in the strain of your muscles, the sweat on your brow, the defiant decision to push again tomorrow. Part 4, the aesthetic, dressing for the end of the world. The philosophy of black turtlenecks. It's not a fashion statement, it's a uniform for the void. It is the absence of color, a sartorial representation of the neural canvas upon which we paint our lives. It is efficient, it is serious. It says, I have rejected the carnival's bright colors, and I am here to work. It is the armor of the intellectual, the minimalist, the person who has chosen to focus on the internal over the external. Rainy windows and minor keys, the atmosphere of thought. Melancholy is not depression. It is the preferred climate of the thinking mind, the pensive glow of a street lamp on wet asphalt, the slow swell of a cello suite, the quiet of a city at 4 a.m. These are not moods of sadness. They are the environments where the noise of the world fades and you can finally hear the faint, terrifying, and beautiful sound of your own existence. The Cathedral of the Self. Your mind is not a garage to be cleaned. It is a cathedral to be built. Fill it with the art that shatters you, the music that understands you, the books that feel like they were written in a language only you and the author speak. Curate your existence with a ruthless passion. This internal world is the only thing that is truly inalienably yours. Make it a place worth living in. Afterward, now what? So here we are. The carnival is behind us. The maps are ashes. I'm filming. The silence is all there is. This is not an end, it is a genesis. The universe provided the raw materials, chaos, randomness, and a fleeting consciousness. The rest is up to you. You are the architect of your own cathedral, the author of your own myth, the god of your own small, magnificent world. Go build something interesting. The Twin Autopsies, a study in urban decay across the Mississippi. This is an entry about the state of Minnesota, specifically the Twin Cities, St. Paul, and Minneapolis, because I am born and raised in Midway, St. Paul, Minnesota. So the Twin Autopsies, a study in urban decay across the Mississippi. They sold you a story about the Twin Cities, a tale of two siblings hand in hand across the Mississippi, a metropolitan utopia in the heart of the Midwest. Minneapolis, the sleek, modern aesthetic, all glass and ambition. St. Paul, the older, wiser sibling full of brick and history and quiet dignity. It is a pleasant fiction, a brochure lie. The truth is something else. The truth is an autopsy of the American city in the 21st century, and the report is written in the crumbling mortar of St. Paul and the reflective glass of Minneapolis. They are not two halves of a whole, but two distinct cadavers on the same slab, each telling a different story of demise. Let us begin with St. Paul, the capital. They call it the last city of the East, and it feels it. It feels like a place that remembers its own importance but has forgotten why. It is a city of magnificent, empty cathedrals, and I do not merely mean the architectural one on Summit Hill, though it serves as a perfect metaphor. A stunning, inspired monument to a faith that is slowly leaching from the world. I speak of the Cathedral of Industry. The Ford plant in Highland Park is a vast skeletal relic. Its windows are boarded eyes staring out at a river that once carried its products to the world. It is a monument to a god that left. The god of manufacturing, of blue collar certainty, of a life built on the unwavering promise of a pension. The decay here is not aggressive, it is a slow, melancholic entropy. It is the decay of memory. The city doesn't collapse, it fades like the text on a forgotten gravestone. Its streets, especially in the off hours, possess a profound and echoing silence. This is not peace, it is the quiet of a library long after the patrons have gone home, the knowledge within no longer sought, no longer relevant. St. Paul's decay is the tragedy of obsolescence. Then you cross the river, or you look across from the crumbling bluffs of the east side, and you see it, Minneapolis. Minneapolis presents a radically different kind of decay. If St. Paul is fading, Minneapolis is being aggressively, surgically erased. Its decay is not one of neglect, but of hypercapitalist renewal. Jacob Fry. It is a city sanded down, its character planed away and replaced with the sleek, anonymous gleam of developer grade architecture. The decay here is hidden behind a facade of vibrant growth. It is the decay of the soul, of identity, of history. Walk through the North Loop. What was once a network of warehouses, a place of tangible, gritty work, is now a curated playground of exposed brick, artisanal breweries, and luxury condominiums. The city hasn't forgotten its history, it has commodified it. It has sanitized it and sold it back to the affluent at a premium. This is a form of decay far more insidious than rot. It is a spiritual decay, a city losing its essence to the sterile logic of the market. The skyline grows, the tax base increases, and the city becomes more and more a generic signifier of a cool city, indistinguishable from Austin, Denver, or Nashville. Its decay is the tragedy of assimilation, and between them the Mississippi flows, a natural, timeless force indifferent to the human dramas on its banks. It does not care about the twin mythology, it is merely a geographical fact, a waterway that has borne witness to the rise and fall of industries, the construction of bridges, both physical and metaphorical, and the slow, relentless erosion of both brick and principle. The true urban decay of the Twin Cities is not merely the abandoned storefront on University Avenue or the contentious gaping wound where a precinct station once stood. It is the widening chasm between the two cities' chosen path toward irrelevance. St. Paul clinging to the ghost of its past, decaying with a kind of dignified grace. Minneapolis sprinting toward a future of generic prosperity, decaying from within by sacrificing its character on the altar of economic viability. They are two case studies in how a city can die. One dies quietly of old age and abandonment, the other dies loudly, brightly, and expensively, its original spirit paved over and replaced with a more profitable, palatable version. The most profound decay is not found in the collapse of structures, but in the failure of a shared vision. The tragedy of Minneapolis and St. Paul is not that they are decaying. All cities eventually do. The tragedy is that they are decaying alone, together, separated by a river, and a fundamental failure to forge a unified meaning in the face of oblivion. They are two separate autopsies waiting to be written on the exact same page. There will be a part 3 to this, because my mom is bugging me about breakfast.